It's like bookends, right? The beginning wasn't good. The end wasn't good. The 75 minutes in between were really, really good. And credit goes to Will Johnson because that was a fantastic goal. You don't get goals scored like that against you too often. So, but our response from that first goal was terrific. I think the guys just got better and better and better as the game wore on. And we got back to doing the things that we do well, and got on top of things. And then we end the game, obviously, in a little bit of a disappointing circumstance. So one thing's clear, and I think 100% certain, that we've still got 90 minutes of work to do if we're going to advance.
Talk a little bit about Chris Schuler's performance, 2 goals, 2 games.
He's a regular goal scorer now. Maybe play him center forward the next match. No, it was terrific. And he's a guy with his size and with his physical attributes that I've always felt like he should be a guy that's good, should score about 5 goals a year on attacking dead balls. So good to see him coming into his own a little bit. And another night that the service was absolutely fantastic for Morales.
Jason, could you talk about the midfield play? It seemed like Gil and Velasquez and Javi were all over the place the entire match, really dictating the pace tonight.
Incredible. The work that they put in on the defensive side of things, I think, is probably the most important thing for me. And then, with the ball, with making aggressive decisions to go forward with it rather than just be playing backwards most of the time. Luis had some really special plays, I thought, in the first half. And Seba was industrial and good, and Morales was special. The second goal, actually, if you go back and look at it, it comes from him getting all the way back into our penalty box and making a defensive play. And when Javier Morales does that, we will succeed.
Jason, the team did really well on corner kicks and set pieces tonight. What did you see from them that you felt like contributed to those set pieces being effective?
Yeah, it's been interesting because I felt like we've been a little ineffective for the majority of the year on attacking dead balls, and now coming to the playoffs and we look really dangerous and really effective. So for me, it comes down to a couple of things. It comes down to having some different ideas to open up some situations. So we looked at a short corner a lot towards the middle of the season. I still think it's something we could go back to because it creates its own dangers. Then it comes down to service, and the service, as I said earlier, from Morales has been second to none. And the third part is just commitment to get on the end of things, and the running in the box has been a little more dedicated and a little bit harder runs and a little bit willingness to fight through some challenges to get on the end of things. That last goal that comes from Morales is pretty cool, too. Now he scored a couple of goals. I think teams are so used to seeing him out on serving the ball that nobody tends to pick him up when he's not.
Along those lines, to get this kind of production offensively without Sabo, what does it say about your team?
I think it says that we're a deep team. I think it says that we have a ton of guys that have contributed this year in really meaningful matches and in really meaningful ways. And I think that puts us in a place right now where we haven't been typically. We can plug and play. We can put guys in. Devin Sandoval's a first-year player, but he didn't look like a first-year player to me. He looked like a guy that was seasoned, and that's probably due to the fact that he's played between 5 and 10 matches for us this year starting, and has been very effective in those matches.
A couple of years ago, you took a daunting lead up to Seattle and had what ended up being a close match. Can you talk about avoiding complacency and what you're going to do with the guys?
As I said, the giving the goal, the second goal that Portland scored, you can look at that in 2 ways. We could look at that and be really, really disappointed and feel like if we go there with a 3-goal lead, it's going to be an easier affair. Or we could look at that and say, you know what, we've just challenged ourselves a little bit more, and we're not going to be able to go there and sit back and just have a laugh for 90 minutes. We're going to have to go there and work because as we've seen what Portland's done in their place recently, it scored a lot of goals. And so we're not going to be able to go there and just defend all night for sure.
Jason, how did you guys play 0-0 about 3 or 4 weeks ago? Because the other 3 games have just been a goal-scoring fest.
I don't know. I do think I know. Portland in the first half should have scored. They should have scored twice at least. They had balls running across our 6-yard box and guys couldn't hit the frame. And that's atypical for them. So, if they score one of those goals, maybe the game opens up a little bit more. Maybe then we score a goal. And then, at the end of it all, maybe there's a lot more goals. But they didn't take their chances early in the match. And then they had some chances late in the match that Ramondo made great saves on. So Credit to them. They were a very good team that night. Credit to us. We were willing to do whatever it took to get out of there with a draw. And so we will need that again in 2 weeks from tonight.
Jason, talk about the lack of days in between the two games. I mean, you got almost 2 weeks. Do you like that, or do you prefer it to be next week?
You know, I think we can talk a lot about what we prefer. I prefer not to play the game tonight. I prefer not to play a game 3 nights later after our players played 120 minutes. But now, well, it's okay. It was okay. And I prefer not to wait 2 weeks to play the next match. I'd like to continue this team's momentum because we've had so many starts and stops this year that's been really tough to deal with. But it is what it is. So we'll just do our best. They got a 2-week break as well. So we'll probably both be dealing with a little bit of rustiness in that match.
Portland has only given up more than 3 goals twice this year, and both times to you. They've only given up 3 or more 5 times, and 3 times that's to you. Is there some
Lord,
matchup
you know some
that's
stats, don't you?
That's all the math I know. Is there some matchup that you're scoring goals on them when other people are not?
I don't think so. I think that we both play a similar style. I think there's been much made of that, and I think it's true. I think we both want to set the tempo of the match. I think we both want to press. I think we both want to be aggressive in our play, and that opens up space to counterattack into. And you know, there's going to be some nights where our guys are going to finish opportunities, and there's going to be some nights where we don't. And we typically create a good number, always. Not always, but typically. And there's going to be some nights where we score a bunch like we did tonight.
Jason, talk about the crowd tonight on an atypical sports night in Utah.
Terrific. My hat's off to them. I can't say thank you enough times and in meaningful enough ways. Really good again tonight. The spirit was excellent from minute 1 to minute 90. And we know that our team gains a lot of momentum from them and really builds off the spirit of the crowd, and we're appreciative. It's a nice big family we have here at Real Salt Lake.
Jason, a guy that we haven't talked about yet is Robbie Finley. He had a goal and assist, and you said earlier this week that these are the matches where Robbie Finley will make his mark. What made him so effective tonight, in your opinion, specifically?
Well,
he was
first
all
and
over
foremost, his speed. You know, I think that he made their center backs a bit nervous from minute 1 about what he could do behind them. We were effective at looking to find him. I don't think we were effective at finding him enough and in the right spaces. But he just kept working, and that the goal he scored just comes from sheer will and determination to battle a center back and to pester him into making a mistake. And then the second goal is a little bit of a breakage of play and a great pass into him, and he played an excellent pass to Devin. So he's a guy that now has put together a couple of good games, and I'm really pleased with it. He's got a little bit of an injury issue. That's why he came out. So we'll need to be very mindful of that as we move forward.
Else for Jay? All right, locker room's over. Tyler, you got one?
Yeah, I got one last one. Jason, you've taken a couple different approaches to long breaks. The last few times seems like you've taken the guys to boot camp, lots of wind sprints. I'm curious.
Come on.
Sorry, I'm curious. How do you plan to approach this? Is it going to be kind of a lot of running, or is it going to be a little more laid back?
Well, we actually kind of have 2 groups right now. We have a group that's played a lot of matches, three matches in a week. So they're going to be more on the resting side. But then we've got a group behind them that we need to do some fitness work with, because as we've seen, any injury can happen at any time. And we need those guys to be ready to step in. So some guys are going to work hard. Some guys are going to work kind of hard. And that's it. Nobody will work easy. Everybody's going to work hard.